horrible fruit.
So, I went to Lottie Mart.
Okay.
Familiar with Lottie Mart?
Yeah.
It's
like an international grocery.
I've seen it. I've driven past it.
It's like a Korean international market thingy. You know, they got more of what you could expect from like a dedicated like Asian market, that type of deal.
They got a handful of those places. Like it's well represented in our area, and if you want to get like different stuff or more obscure stuff, it's nice. It's nice that you don't have to order. You can actually go get that if you want.
That's usually where I pick up Samanko, the sweet fish. Ice cream fishes.
But specifically, if you want anything East Asian, you head over to the little area called Alexandria.
Yeah.
And there's a lot there. And so Lottie Mart in Alexandria, I bought something I was curious about, a fruit, very exotic fruit called Soursop.
Soursop. I expected durian.
No. See, people are hip to durian.
Yeah, they're hip to durian.
People are hip to durian.
Durian is a meat.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, yeah.
It smells and tastes bad. It doesn't taste good.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Soursop? Familiar?
Never heard of it. Is it sour like S-O-U-R, like that's the first word, or is it soursop as in one word?
One word, S-O-U-R-S-O-P.
Yeah.
Soursop.
Where's it from? The dark continent.
Okay. I'm pretty sure South America. South America. We looked this up, and there's like... Well, I'm getting ahead of myself now. Soursop, one of the things that when I looked it up, because I had never heard of this mysterious fruit that Mario brought me, which looked to my mind like a very large and spiky pear.
It's like vaguely looks like a melon sort of, but also like a squash at the same time.
Sort of light bulb shaped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
do you know the old
kind of
meme
like
where the
nubbly,
pear,
you know?
Yeah.
Do you know the old meme where the pear would say what, and it would have like a big amount?
Yeah.
Look kind of like that in my head. That's how I remember it. But knobbly.
So, by the way, it's neither here nor there, but I think it's really funny. Soursop is imported, obviously, and you pay by the pound.
Okay.
Mine was roughly, I believe, 5-ish pounds.
Oh, this is larger than I imagined.
Dude, it was huge.
It's a big boy.
Guess how much I paid for that?
$100. $200.
Overshot. But you're in the ballpark.
That's not good. I was trying to be like hilariously over it.
See, I undershot when I said.
Well, like $50?
Boom! Ding! 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 Ding!
$50. Yeah.
$50.
$50.
Yeah.
About $10 a pound.
Give me like a hand guesstimate of the size of this thing.
It was
basketball, smaller.
Smaller than a basketball, but it was also like oblong.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like
I would say that
spheroid.
Like lengthwise, it was 90% the width of a basketball.
And what compelled you to purchase the Soursop?
I have heard it's good and delicious.
Okay.
And has like a weird, unique texture, and is also the flavor profile apparently registers as like several different kinds of fruit that we're familiar with.
Huh.
Like kind of blended together. And so I was like, that sounds really good.
This is the fruit punch. We found it. Yeah.
And I went to Lottie Mart on like a whim. I was just sort of looking around. I was like, oh, Soursop.
You know what? Pull the trigger.
Yeah, whatever, fuck it. And then I just grabbed one. Not expecting to pay $50, but like I was like, all right, whatever.
This one looks good.
Which that was the other thing. Is like, I have no idea. I've never seen.
We were laughing about that. Does this look good? Is this a fine example of the fruit?
So,
did you have to shave the wool? The wool.
The main issue. I've never seen a soursop, much less touched one before, so I don't know what a ripe soursop is, or looks like, or feels like, so I just grabbed one.
We're just caveman style.
We looked it up on Wikipedia, and the picture looked like the fruit we had.
So I was like, I guess this is correct, and then I showed up to Rob's, and was like, I bought this weird thing, which Rob immediately was just like, what the fuck is that?
Do you want $25 worth of mystery fruit?
And then we cut it up, and I cut off a little piece because it was super firm, and so I was like, that doesn't seem right. And
that's probably fine.
I cut off like what I would call a chip.
The inside reminded me of like an apple a little bit.
Yeah, or a pear, really.
Like crisp.
Like more firm, but like the way like the seeds were and stuff, and like the skin almost looked exactly the same. And so I just cut off a little chip and put it in my mouth, and then immediately just started laughing, and just looked at Rob, and I was just like, I didn't pick right.
It's not it, my homie.
So Mario described it as tasting like a pool, like a swimming pool.
It was like if you go to the rec center and you accidentally swallow some water. Oh, that was what it tasted like.
Yeah. I don't like that part of my brain.
Chlorine-ridden public water. That's what it tasted like.
If I had to describe the flavor in one word, I would say that it was teal. It tasted like the color teal.
It was very sharp and unpleasant.
Yeah, and I seem to recall going, "Bleh," and I spit it out and threw it in the trash. And that was the end of that $50 experience.
To his credit, he watched me eat it and be like, "That's horrible," and he was just like, "Well, I have to try something."
That made me want to try it.
That's a courtesy taste right there.
We're guys. We're guys. You tell us that it smells bad. We're like, give me a whiff.
Yeah. That might
I'll be the judge of that, sir.
I'd accuse you of biting a comedian there, but that's like I'm pretty sure that's like every comedian has done that bit for the past 50 years.
That's been a thing since the dawn of time.
Which especially after I explained, like, this costs $50. Can you believe that?
Also, I mentioned I looked it up on Wikipedia. I also found out that it's possibly neurotoxic. There's some nation where they can, or region, it was a little while ago now, some area where they consume a tea made from this stuff. And it like causes and illnesses, problems late in life, like Parkinson's and Parkinson's-like things. So I'm sure we'll be okay, but
nope, you did it. It's happening.
Mario bought $50 worth of poison.
It was
good thing you didn't boil it.
Do you think it wasn't ripe?
We suspect it was not ripe.
I've watched videos of people eat it and being like, "Oh my god, they're so good," and like the texture was so different. Like it's supposed to be like mushy, I guess, or something like that.
It was firm.
The flesh on the inside is supposed to get like super soft, and it's supposed to be sweet instead of taste like pool water.
I'm going to talk out of my ass for a second. I believe that one of the things that helps us determine ripeness is where the sugar is in the process of the metabolism of the fruit. So I feel like later in the metabolism, as the sugar becomes more complex, it causes the boundaries between the cells to break up, so it's just more liquid.
That sounds good to me, man.
That sounds almost like science.
No, it definitely had a bit of that too green taste, like backing. I didn't taste it for very long. It was a very quick.
Get a little chlorophyll on the back end of the.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, typically with things maturing over time, particularly with fruit, it's more that the starches just convert to sugars.
Yeah,
that's why it's a lot of people stand by green bananas.
Me?
Go fuck yourself, because I can't stand a starchy banana because it's not a banana yet. Okay, it's not supposed to taste that way.
I remember I told this to Mario 10 years ago.
No, plantain is a different plant, sir. I'll have you know.
It is, I know, but I'm saying
I didn't know this was
a green banana might as well be a plantain as far as flavor goes.
Which it can be good, it can be cooked or whatever, because that also then converts the starches into sugars. But no, it needs some brown on it. Okay, then it gets to be a banana.
I've never heard of this discourse.
Yeah, no, this is a thing Mario and I have from a decade ago.
Yeah. I've only ever heard of bananas. Don't you hate it when they're too brown? And I'm they do get old. And that's the only opinions on bananas that I've ever really heard.
So point in case, how is banana bread made?
I don't know.
With old bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you want to get all this... Yeah. Because of the sugar.
Black bananas.
Yeah. Oh. Because if you use green bananas, guess what? It's going to taste like nothing. Because it doesn't have any banana flavor yet.
Would it still function as a bread?
Yeah, but it would taste like nothing.
Could I make... I'm going to make a fruit salad sandwich that doesn't taste like fruit at all. I'm going to figure it out. With my banana bread that doesn't taste like banana bread, that's the baseline.
Striving to create a worse future
every day.
Using cooking powers for evil. Mario can't even comprehend this.
No, I don't have a response to this. What do you? Anyway.
And with that, welcome back to Scryer's Room. I am your host, Famfare.
We're coming at you live from the Rob studio. It's Kevin.
Mario.
Thanks for having me. I'm Rob.
And tonight, we're going to talk about some of our favorite book series.
and I didn't find out about the episode, so I'm going to go last. I'm going to think about it while we talk.
Yeah, initially I had mentioned I want to do like 30 minutes on how Disney isn't worth it anymore, but then I said I wasn't feeling good when I woke up. I think I have like a cold or something. I told Tony I didn't want to record because I thought I sounded like shit.
I'm not in peak health to be angry enough at Disney.
Here I am. I have like a mask on my face, and they said I sound fine. So here I am. And book series is convenient for me because I've been reading some stuff recently anyway. So I got some stuff I wanted to talk about already.
Which is lovely. You said you wanted to speak about American Psycho?
American Psycho is possibly my favorite book. I'm a big Pratchett fan. I've mentioned this to you guys possibly 100 times each at this point. Corner you at every opportunity, like the memes. You know the memes where like the guy is like got his hand around the woman's neck. It's bad.
Holding her head.
Yeah. No, this is surprising because I too am a pretty big Pratchett fan. I haven't finished the Discworld, but Rob can rant to me as someone, and I'll just be like, "Oh yeah, I get it." Like about Discworld or whatever. So for him to say that Americans really is your favorite, it might be.
It might. It's easily top 3. It's.
I mean that's fine, but like I think your favorite.
If you consider all the Pratchett books together, man, have you read Nation?
No.
Nation is his best book, dude. Nation, like. I cannot believe I waited so long to read it. If you can hear me, you need to read Nation by Terry Pratchett right now. It's one of the most incredible things I've ever read. Like, I genuinely consider getting a tattoo, and I'm like a 33-year-old man.
The entire manuscript on his body.
Yeah, you got to read that book. Anyway, American Psycho has long been one of my favorites. I first read it 15 years ago, at least.
I remember.
Yeah, Mario was there.
We were hanging out.
I was there 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, no, don't quote the old magic to me. I was there when it was written. Yeah, we'd be like, we'd drive around and get, smoke or whatever, and then Rob's super ADHD, so at any opportunity, his phone would be out, and then he'd be like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm reading American Psycho."
Yeah.
Still, again?
Why are you doing that? "Oh, it's so good, dude. Listen to this." And then it'd just be like, "I can now perform like 1,200 sit-ups in a morning or whatever." And then it would go on to just
4 hours a day.
And then it would just cut to something else, and it would just be like, "Yes, I got drugs from the dude, and then just ate the capsules."
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. Okay.
Like,
so
but it made it so nuts. Like it's such like a. Okay, the thing that stuck with me most, and why I remember you telling me about it, is because it was such like a scatterbrained seeming way of like writing prose.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was still like somehow a coherent story, but it was just insane.
Yeah, so it's. I read the book because the movie. The movie has long been a thing in popular culture.
Yeah.
Like people know that movie, like that movie. I don't know how it did when it first came out. I don't know anything about that, but. Like, people like that movie. People reference that movie. There's memes and such. Him doing his little shimmy dance.
Yeah, like the GIFs go crazy.
Yeah, all that stuff. People love that stuff, and they always have.
The Pokemon card.
Yeah, that's flipping the Pokemon card. That's like a 15-year-old video. I laughed my ass off at that. Yeah, that's like those things have been around forever. And so I saw those things when I was younger, and I was like, "What's this about?" And I watched the movie, and the movie is a damn good movie, man. But let me tell you, this is something that all 3 of them have heard me say at least 5 times at this point. Mario at least 50 times at this point. Unironically, 50 times. That's not a joke or an exaggeration. The book blows the movie out of the water, man. You got to read that book. I love American Psycho. I like all that author's books. Bret Easton Ellis. I like them all.
The Ellis verse.
Yeah, the Ellis verse. The Hypno Model verse. We'll get back to that. I like all his books, but American Psycho is number 1. I like all. It's so strange. Like it's vile in parts. It is. There are parts that are upsetting and uncomfortable, to be sure. But like it's. I've never read anything else quite like it. I would say that 40% of the aggregate text is just him describing people, but not the people. He describes like their clothes and their haircut. And so like here is a person. Their name is Their name is Cecilia. They are wearing like the silk crepe tie from Manolo. Like I don't know if designers do. I get all this wrong. But like every single person is described only in these terms because they don't. The people are all interchangeable. They're all nothing. They're all just empty, hollow shells. To quote Mario from while we were getting to our sound check, they're all just empty, hollow shells.
That's how he assigns them value.
Yeah.
It's just how expensive is the shit you're wearing.
How expensive do you look? Are you wearing this season stuff?
Is the stuff you're wearing expensive enough for me to talk to you?
Yeah. That's like, they're not people. They're just assemblages of things. Everyone is just what they own, what they have, or like what their vacation is, what restaurants they go to. It's like reading that, like I don't, you can't see me right now.
It simulates being like a psychopath. That's the point of it. Yeah.
You can't see me right now.
It's insane.
I'm wearing what I would like, it's like a white undershirt and gym shorts, and that's pretty much my attire 24/7.
He pretty much only wears the kinds of clothes that conceivably you could get for free at like a hotel. If you like spilled something, like, I fucked up my pants. Can I just something? That's his style. That's his chic. You know.
Yeah, that's my lack of style. And so like the fashion stuff for me is like what? Like it totally. I only know some of those words because I've read that book.
Yeah.
And like I really need to get someone's notes on it. Like I know that there's one of the ancient texts of the internet is like some guys or possibly a collection of guys' notes on every Pratchett book. Here's all of the references in the order they appear, and it's like
he's referencing this at this point. Yeah,
and they're like based on the formatting of the website and like the fonts and stuff. Like that's been there for at least 25 years. That is not like a Web 2.0 website. That's been there since before I could read.
That precedes certain like major governmental like nuclear controls.
Yeah.
That's the old magic, though.
Yeah, it's the old magic. Yeah, and I need that for American Psycho. Because there's so many things that I think I'm missing. I've reread it 6 or 7 times at this point, and every time I read it, I have slightly more knowledge of stuff, everything. My knowledge has very moderately increased, and every time I notice something new that they just get wrong. Like, I don't mean that the author gets wrong. I mean that the characters are just wrong all the time. And no one ever cares or calls them on it because no one is actually listening to each other. All they ever do is just repeat, like, magazine reviews to each other. And I'm not sure if it's because they're repeating, like, things and they're repeating them wrong because they misremember them, or they're just stupid. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to take away from that, but they're wrong all the time. I didn't pick up on that the first time I read it at all, but like they talk about, I went to the Caribbean, it was great. When Columbus was there in 1592, that's off by 100 years, that's not right. And so like I need someone to go through that book and meticulously point out, actually this is from the fall collection of 1981 and that wouldn't have been there. Like I want to know all the stuff that they're wrong about that I don't know about, because there
must be. There's some like level of this text that can still be dug into with like how purposefully he has written these characters to be like incorrect.
Yeah, very well said. Thank you. I needed that. It's like there's so many also like period things, like 80s cultural stuff that I just don't. I know a good deal of old media stuff, but like I don't know all of it. I don't know like news events. And some of that cultural stuff like didn't make it, man. Like a lot of things that were big at the time, like back in the day, just didn't survive. And if you talk to someone who's like an older person who was alive for that, they can say, "Oh yeah, that happened." But it's not like the only old stuff we know about are the things that they think they can sell to us now.
Yeah.
Or like the things that like,
or the things that specifically affected Seth MacFarlane. Everything else is just lost to time.
Yeah, it's like how The Simpsons has. You're talking about Old Simpsons. Old Simpsons has Steve Allen on it. I think Steve Allen hosted the Tonight Show in like the 50s.
He might as well have not been a guest star in my watch through.
He's there like
just some guy.
I only know who that is because of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need like 80s cultural context for some of the stuff they're talking about, because some of it I can parse and some of it I can't.
Mm-hmm. There was another thing that you sent to me, and I suppose that this was probably around the time that you were getting sucked back into the American Psycho hole, about the business cards.
Oh, okay. So gosh, the
famous business card.
The famous business card scene, and that's one where like I think the movie does a better job of that. Like because in the book, it's not clear that the cards all look the same. Like that they're like completely identical to each other. They're barely different in any way. And like he's freaking out about like, oh my god, I can't believe Price prefers Van Patten's card to mine. Which like God, Christian Bale, man. Like,
they're visually all identical cards, but that only comes across on film.
Yeah, and the book doesn't make it clear that they're not different from each other at all. And seeing
that's merely implication. Yeah,
it's a chef's kiss, man. It's incredible.
Which I guess the joke would be that you could infer that.
Yeah,
because like
I mean that's the intention.
How different could business cards actually be?
Right. Yeah.
But to him, oh man!
If you want to talk about good business cards, the only good business cards, I'm sorry, this has already been decided, are the ones that you see that people make with like, if you like fold up my business card, it turns into a frog, and I run a frog sanctuary, or like, if you take it apart, you can build a little robot guy out of it, and I'm like a professional sculptor. And like,
what?
Who's doing that?
That's awesome.
Oh, there's tons of like business cards like that. Oh. There's this one business card that they make. What's it called? Machining for musical instruments for like player pianos and stuff. And the business card that the guy had, it's made out of metal, and like it has little wires that come off the end. And if you like run your nail across them, it goes ding 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 ding, like it makes a song.
Oh, that's awesome.
Neat.
Those guys have figured out business cards. If you're like, the font, the weight of the paper, all of that,
the subtle off-white coloring, the tasteful thickness,
all of that bullshit. If I can't make gunpla out of it, I should be able to conceivably get into your building by putting it into like a common rider belt, and then like that unlocks it.
If I can't fold my business card to then have like a mech suit and a gun that then shoots your business card.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing with your life?
You like pull a tab and it shoots like a rectangle of paper.
One shot per card.
Yeah. I mean, you can probably do that. I mean, fire paper's a real thing.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Where you just give it a little tug and it'll like ignite on the back end if you have like a little matchstick thing on it, and it'll just I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. I wonder what business I'm going to have.
I saw that movie about the magicians who are crime wizards.
The crime wizard magicians, yeah.
Yeah, and he had the fire paper in that. That's how I know that exists.
Fucking, I'm going to take us on a little tangent just for a moment.
I thought we were already on the tangent.
Even further. A third tangent. Dan Harmon said something that I've never felt more seen in my life.
Go on.
Oh, okay.
That movie is called Now You See Me.
Uh-huh.
And then they came out with a second movie, and Dan Harmon does a whole fucking bit about it, and it's just something that I said, and then everyone told me to shut up, and by everybody I mean my dad probably was just not in the mood to talk about it. How was the second movie not Now You Don't? The movie was called Now You See Me. And Dan Harmon does a whole thing about it. You should look him up. I hear he's doing good work. He's got like a little indie cartoon, Rick and Morty, I've heard.
I've never heard of such a cartoon.
Yeah.
No, let's check it out sometime.
Sorry. I've just never felt more seen. I was like, finally, another person sees.
Yeah, that's a good video. I've seen that video because you made me watch it, and that is worth checking out.
Yep. That's how it went down. Sorry. Go on.
Weak tangent. Well, weak link back to that sentiment.
Please.
Being seen. I feel enough people haven't seen Jack Vance. I've recently gotten Rob to start The Dying Earth. I don't know how much he's read. He's read a little bit, and he's admit this is weird.
Yeah.
Because it is. There's no.
Vance is doing a lot of inventing. The older you get with
science fiction and fantasy, we've kind of like. I mean, obviously there are modern science fiction and fantasy authors out there doing cool stuff. We talked about them on here.
No, but they have to try to be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when there wasn't 100 years of modern science fiction canon to draw on, stuff was just kind of weird.
Yeah. A modern author, a modern Kevin man, has to think I got to think about something to differentiate my stuff. What's different about my dragons? And they're like, my dragons are fungus because it's never, no one thinks of anything yet. It's all new.
My planet has crabs and rain because I never heard of that.
Yeah.
So, okay, but I think Jack Vance is special because he's directly responsible for like so much just fantasy trope shit.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of inventing.
How I picture a wizard in my head is
the Wizards of the Dying Earth.
Yeah.
It's insane,
Yeah.
like how 1-to-1 they are. They're just assholes.
Yeah.
Because of course they are. Why wouldn't they be?
Well, you've been alive for 500 years doing whatever you want. You're probably not going to be like it. I'd imagine it's
Probably not going to be cool.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's kind of hard to like maintain niceties.
So I'm setting up Jack Vance, and I've already gushed about the Dying Earth, but I want to talk about his space series, the Demon Princes. But
Oh man.
just to get the point of what Rob is trying to say is just there's a whole character where his whole thing is he's a wizard. There's several characters actually who are the focus, but Rialto the Marvelous is like the Giga Chad, like super cool wizard man who's just too cool for everyone else, and his stories is just about how wizards are assholes. His first story is another wizard is jealous because he's too cool, and frames him. So all the other wizards steal all his shit, and then he sues because we have rules for this. And then
They have the Magician's Alliance. Yes.
and he has to prove his innocence. That's like his first story. And then by the end of it, they're going to space in another wizard's castle or tower that turns into an owl that is piloted by incense.
What else would you use to pilot it?
You burn various magical incenses to change its course.
Hell, in Alien, they got friggin' ancient spaceships you pilot with a flute.
But
So,
how petty
that's cool.
how petty are the wizards? They're betting on who's going to get the most Ioun stones, which another Jack Vance.
Oh, wow.
He invented Ioun stones.
Oh, wow.
Which the text weirdly puts them in like italics in all caps. IOUN, and then when you listen to it on audiobook, the narrator doesn't say Ioun stone, he says IOUN stone every time. Really weird detail. I don't know why that is, but there you go.
could it be symbolic?
Who can say?
Sometimes I forget that that's not a reference that people will know.
Well, now I have to do another tangent. Okay, so
I'm sorry about that.
we have had our friend Justin on the podcast before. We were talking about kung fu movies, and he and our friend Sean, rest his soul, went to the World Cup in Brazil.
Yes.
And during that time, you encounter a bunch of interesting fellows at the World Cup from all
guys.
over the place, and they were getting some beers at the bar. And to my understanding, some Aussie gentlemen had joined them at the bar, and were proceeding to be extremely belligerent and drunk, in good fun as far as things were concerned.
That's what the World Cup is for.
That's
You go
what-
to the country and get drunk. Yeah.
You're not getting a little bit belligerent at those times, and what are you doing? You're not living your life.
What else would I be doing? I need to tell these boys about Australia.
And one of the things that one of these gentlemen insisted upon was that could it be symbolic
That was his line.
that both of the animals on our flag can't walk backwards? Could it be symbolic? And they're like, dude, fuck this.
What do you mean?
and that's lived in our canon ever since.
Yep. And I forget that that's not from something. That's,
Yeah, God. Yeah. If you're out there listening, we love you, buddy.
it is symbolic.
It is symbolic.
You should know that they didn't discover that flag. They designed it.
No. My man, I've never met you, but if you're out there, continue to shine, you beautiful diamond.
Absolutely.
Smash cut back to the Dying Earth Wizards.
Yes.
To really tell you how dickish they are.
The first book opens up with like, man, I can't figure out clones. I've been trying to figure out clones for so long.
But that's
and
like
they keep coming out all spindly, or they come out and they can't talk, or they're just not coming out right. Anyway,
They're all coming out like Alien 4.
I got this guy that I kidnapped who knows how to make clones, and I shrunk him down to like 6 inches tall, the size of an action figure. And I put him in like a little maze where a little tiny dragon is constantly trying to kill him at all times. And if he ever lapses, paying attention, the little tiny dragon will eat him. And he's been in that maze for weeks, and he still won't tell me how to make clones.
What kind of Lex Luthor shit is that?
Wizards are dicks,
And
okay?
I feel like you said Rick and Morty earlier, he's like descending through his like multi-tiered laboratory labyrinth palette. Like, oh, these are my mushrooms. I don't care about those right now. Like, he's just going past these. Has like all these plates he's spinning at all times. He's got his fingers in many pies because he's a wizard, and that's wizard shit.
Yeah. And then when you get to certain levels of wizardry, you do what Rialto the Marvelous and his crew were doing in that story where they fly to space in the Owl Tower, piloted by Incense, where they're betting on who gets first pick of Ioun stones because there's apparently a cache because they come from outer space, don't you know? And during the betting, they're all using time stop.
Oh, wow.
They're just cheating constantly.
Yeah.
And Rialto notices and is just like, well, that's bullshit. Time stop. And then
I better cheat.
And then they just all continuously use time stop until basically they run out of spell slots or can't figure out how to cheat anymore.
That's so base.
Right? Like, it's a dice roll. Literally, they're rolling dice, and it's just time stop. I'm going to arrange that real quick. Time stop. I'm going to arrange that real quick. Every one of them, they're all doing it.
It's a self-balancing problem, because if everyone's cheating as hard as they can all the time...
And that becomes the game.
That becomes the game, yeah.
No, but
which I agree, but in my Rock MMO...
There's some games where the cheating is the fun part.
Yeah.
It really sucks. The fun part is cheating.
But it's like Rialto gets like annoyed and then starts dropping like hints that like just like, well, it's good no one's using time stop basically, and then everyone's just like
just like we all agreed, right,
as
boys?
if any of us are as much of an asshole to do that.
What?
And they've all done it multiple times already.
So we all should still have all of our spell slots then, and they're like, of course we do.
So Jack
Flying
Vance,
contest.
The Dying Earth, can't recommend it enough. Go read it. It's directly responsible for D&D and many other tropes of just fantasy. But then he's got his science fiction series, the Demon Princes Saga, which is bananas, and I love it.
I think you've talked a little bit about it.
I have. I mentioned it.
Mario ranted for a good solid hour 45 on this to me the other night.
Yeah. Well, because that was part of convincing you to, like, you should read Dying Earth.
Yeah.
He wrote this other thing. This is also insane. And each of it's a 5-book series where our protagonist is a Korean revenge main character, basically.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
what it made like. That's what it sounded like when you first pitched it to me.
Yeah, he is literally his family. Save him and his grandfather were killed due to the actions of the Demon Princes, who are the 5 most powerful crime lords in the galaxy. And his grandfather then trained him to be an assassin avenger man.
Classic.
Who will kill those 5 dudes. And yeah, then start.
Who will cuck those 5 dudes?
Yes, yeah, pretty much. Which guess his name. It's
literally.
He's got a good cucking name.
Is it Chad?
Kurth Gerson.
Kurth Gerson?
Yeah.
His name is Girth Person?
Your boy Kurth Gerson.
Yeah.
He's a man of girth, you say?
Yeah.
His thickness can't be ignored.
And he don't. You laugh. He don't fuck around, right?
Yeah. How about the Demon Lords? Like the one guy who's in charge of like basically one of the Demon Lords runs the Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
And he hangs out with all the other reenactors in his like Robin Hood costume, and that's what he does for fun because he wants a woman who, of course, Kurth Gerson steals from him.
Yeah, okay, so that's an important point. Each one of these books, he falls in love with a woman who is like, the first book, not so much, but it's still sort of like the sentiment is every time it's just like, this is a 1 in a billion woman.
Yeah.
Planets will die for her beauty. You know, that sort of thing. And then by the start of the next book, it's like, well, goodbye. And then there's a new chick.
Turns out we weren't that compatible. I thought we were, but I just wanted to bang.
Many a time, these women are also the motivation of said demon prince in the story. This happens
Right.
twice, at least.
Classic behind every good man, and then, like, you know, the Helen of Troy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's...
I was thinking of Always Sunny romance. Who are we doing it versus?
You're doing it against Girth Person.
So
good luck.
Kurth Gerson has been trained as like an assassin, and This is actually one of the things I thought was really cool is that he actually fights in a sensible fashion. He doesn't do just James Bond, judo chop type deal. He actually does like arm bars, like submission techniques and throws.
Yeah.
Will actually like try to do striking. That
like he fights with purpose and training, not just like
as if Jack Vance actually understood the basics of martial arts in combat and how that works.
I wish only that more of his fans knew the basics of martial arts and combats. They got bullied a lot.
I'm not saying it's
savage.
I'm not saying it's realistic, but at the very least, it's believable. And so he's just a Giga Chad. He's an expert in hand-to-hand combat, all the devices, the gear, whatever, yada yada. He has a small like fortune to his name. And the first demon,
damn you, girth person,
the first demon prince, whose name I don't remember, but he's there's only one alien species that competes with humanity.
Okay,
they're an amphibious hermaphroditic race, dubbed the Space Kings by humanity. Apparently,
why would we call them that?
You ask yourself, but their whole biological purpose is survival, so they're really good at that.
That's everyone's biological. Never mind. Sorry.
But like emotionally and like they don't process things the same way humans do.
Yeah.
And so the first demon prince we encounter is one of those guys, and he's known for just being a real bastard because he's so cutthroat because he doesn't have human emotions.
Right.
And he's a shadow businessman dude who you defy me. His one of his famous things was he tortured a dude live for like days for like on a public broadcast just to be like, see what happens. Yeah. But the whole thing is he's trying to find a world so he can propagate his species outside of the view of humanity, so we can kill these dumb apes.
Yeah, so we can finally turn it around on them
because they're not cool. The Space Kings.
They don't sound very cool.
They didn't win the war between them and humanity, which
does beg the question about the whole Kings business.
Yeah, that just raises further questions.
Apparently, humanity tried to make contact, and they were immediately just like, "Fuck you." But
that's what I would say to me.
Basically, it ends with he found this like paradise sort of world that has like a dryad species on it. It's a whole thing, also with like a weird. There's a life cycle that involves like these terrible hornets that kill the dryads, but it's all part of like this rebirth cycle with the trees. It's a whole thing, but the world is nice. It's really great. And
once we get rid of the bug problem.
And Toadman thinks this is perfect. Like I'll start the beginnings of my species' new beginnings here.
Yeah.
Until Kurt Gerson figures his ass out.
I'm here to infect the gene pool.
Yeah, it's really
girth
because he has oh my god
a girthier.
So Toadman's right hand dude is his enforcer, Beautiful DeFreeze.
Would you call him his toady?
That makes him sound too cute because he's not cute. So a thing people do in this world, humans do, is they dye their skin. That's just normal. And like eccentric hairstyles and like colors and makeup is just totally normal. Like you can just do that with a press of a button.
Right.
DeFreeze likes to keep himself blue. He keeps his cheeks nice and flush and blush. He has what is basically like a palm tree type style of just hair poking out from the top of his head.
I think you're thinking of One Piece. This is One Piece.
No. Hold on. And from an encounter with a previous person who tortured him and cut off his eyelids, he has no eyelids.
Oh,
so he has a mechanism, like an apparatus, like a visor thing, which constantly sprays a moisturizing mist into his eyes.
I would have bought new eyelids.
And then when he has to go to sleep, it just closes.
Yeah, of course it does. Man,
that kind of rules.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was what was going on under Geordie LaForge's visor.
That's a whole side thing. Frogman, though, once he's found out, basically just ghouls out and goes full frog.
Yeah.
Man. And just dives into the mud because they can do that.
That's a good move.
he just has a burrowing speed and and then he just runs away and they're just like, well,
speed rules.
Shit, guess he's gone. But those dryad things that just exist on this planet who seem to be semi-sentient, they do a weird thing where they like send out tendrils into the mud and try to eat this one kind of like bug slug thing.
Yeah.
So they do that, and they just stab his ass, kill him.
They hate him.
And so the dryads are just doing that, and then everyone's watching them, just like, isn't that beautiful? And then they like do
very softly. You can hear from the mud.
No, they do the tendril thing, and then he just like ghouls out of the mud like, and then just like and curls up and dies. Like, and it's like, well, good thing that solved itself.
Was he tasty? We can bring more of these guys. We hate them.
I don't know if they ate him. They might have. The dude who tortured Beautiful DeVries, cut off his eyelid, was then subsequently kept by Beautiful DeVries for like 20 years on his personal little planetlet that he had in like a cage outside where he would torture him and fuck with him that entire time. And they turned him they flipped him because obviously he's like, you want to get revenge? He's like, yeah, man. And so then what happens?
That guy that's taking revenge on me, I hate that guy.
So what ends up happening is Beautiful DeVries is then captured by that dude, and then he just keeps him in like a pit and just lives like an idyllic life on that world where he just tortures him for funsies, but lives like as like a nice like Amish farmer the rest of the time.
They're humans, right?
Yeah, Kurt Gerson shows back up and is just like, "How you doing?" He's just like, "Oh, I got him over there. I'm doing great, man. How are you?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, well, goodbye."
The shoe's finally on the other foot.
Again.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's book one, and I didn't even say.
And those feet and shoes, they just keep on swapping.
That is the bare minimum. What Rod was talking about, the demon prince who just LARPs.
Yeah.
That's Kokor Hekkus.
Of course he is.
What is Kokor Hekkus' deal? Is he kidnaps people and then ransoms them back.
That's a pretty solid medieval technique.
Yeah.
That's used to be how it went. That was part of why you wore a big dumb floof on your helmet. This means try not to kill me when you get me.
Yeah. Or if anyone has like a particularly large bounty on them for whatever reason, he gets them and he'll turn it in. That's his whole deal.
Right on.
He gets ransom money, pretty much. And he's a very shadowy. They're all shadowy individuals, but he also is particularly shadowy. No one knows what he really looks like. But it turns out he's trying to get this chick whose name I can't even begin to. Iphigenia something is her name. It's a whole it's a lot, but he fell in love with her. Her beauty is enough to planets will die for that whole thing, and but she does a really good move. Actually, it's really smart. Where she goes to super jail. That's because that's a
that
thing.
is smart.
There's a super jail where people who have ransomed on them, like it's sort of like an intermediary where if someone kidnaps you, they can just go place you in super jail, and then you're like treated hospitably.
Yeah.
Until like
but you're not allowed to leave. Obviously.
Until your ransom is paid.
Yeah.
And then like the super jail isn't really. They're just the middleman.
Yeah.
They have an escrow service, but for kidnapping victims.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
sort of like a Jerry Barris.
We'll hold your victim in escrow until the money comes.
So
through.
this chick, she decides, okay, this dude is obsessed with me. I'm not cool with that. So she goes to super jail. I'm going to take a bounty on him myself.
That way,
for $10 billion.
Until I can pay, which I can't. I'll be stuck here, and he can't get me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Super jail's pretty safe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is a super jail.
Yeah.
Ordinary jail is not very safe at all.
So but
I imagine even in space.
But Kokor Hekkus is Kokor Hekkus. He's one of the demon princes, so he's making the money. He's getting there. He's almost able to pay it until Kurt Gerson shows up.
Kurt Gerson.
Space jail is awful. Haven't you seen Riddick?
Yeah, it was.
It's not that bad.
I've seen that movie.
Well, it's cool, but I wouldn't want to be there.
Well, this space jail isn't that bad. I mean,
I'm sorry. Continue.
No, it's like a rich people prison basically.
Yeah.
As long as you don't like act up, like you're good.
They don't release like dragon panthers every night just for fun.
No, you even get to like do arts and craft and shit.
That
you get like field time. But basically, his big strategy is, well, I'll just I'll get ransomed into super jail, and then I'll figure it out from there. And then
winging it.
Yeah, the big strategy is he figures out how to counterfeit money, and then just prints infinite money, and is just like, well, I bought you, and she's, wow, really? That's crazy. But she comes from a mythical planet, by the way, which is only told about in legends, which is basically like a fantasy style King Arthur.
I come
type.
from Camelot 9.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then they follow all the signs, and they get back there, and she's just like, "Yep, this is where he is. That fucking asshole. He likes to play king, and is wants to.
And that's the LARPing planet.
Wants to marry me. Yeah. Which, by the way, this whole time he's building what he's calling his killing machine, which is a giant centipede machine.
I would have thought gun.
Because that's one of the mythical monsters of that planet, but. Whatever. Anyway,
Building a Mecha Godzilla, essentially.
The big reveal is that Kokorhekas is he's one of the prince or kings of one of the lands, and he's LARPing literally. Kokorhekas, which is actually the first time I've ever seen this term used, is a Hormigaunt.
I've heard that term used before.
Right?
That's because it's a D&D monster.
I assumed that it was more of like a ghoul.
Jack Vance, baby!
It's a D&D
And a
monster. I'll call it
Hormigaunt
that.
in the Demon Prince series is a person who just juices other people to live longer. So he's literally a
wow.
ghoul man.
Oh.
He has like translucent skin and is like a golem person, and he
It's a
literally
40K monster, not a D&D monster.
he's
That makes sense.
literally LARPing. He puts on like a mask, a wig, like the whole 9 yards, and it pretends to be like a prince of like whatever nation. And marry me, Iphigenia.
Is he in like the alien equivalent of a fursuit? Like it
man.
fully covers him, or like
No, it's more of like the mask.
is it more of a disguise situation? Okay,
Disguise. But all of that removed, he's like a weird ghoul person.
Yeah, he's like a Nosferatu.
Who's just like, yeah, and then Gerson just kind of shoots his ass.
Gross. Wow.
Wow.
It's a banana series. There's 5 books. That was just a brief summary of 2.
Oh man.
The last one has my favorite villain, who's the coolest. Howard Allen Love Song. Great name, right?
How does he have a regular name after Kurth Gerson and what Crocus? I don't know. Like
He made it up. Yeah, he gave himself that name because he wasn't born that. Because
he's got a crazy space name, I bet.
Yeah, he doesn't have a normal name like Kurth Gerson.
Yeah.
Well,
No, he's got a space name like Busto Tellis.
Well, Howard Allen Love Song, I'll have you know, is the most dangerous of the demon princes.
Of course, you hear that name?
He is essentially the king of the underworld, and he is now, during the events of his novel, closest to becoming basically emperor because he's made moves on the government.
Oh.
How does he do this? Well, as a child, he decided the path to brilliance is I'm gonna fucking fracture my own psyche.
I'll go insane.
So
it's the perfect plan.
He wrote a book, his own lore, which starred himself and his paladins, which are, I believe, 8 individuals who each serve a particular purpose. They each have their own skills, and then he and his paladins conquered and brought light to the land, basically.
Okay.
And so how this translates to him as a demon lord is he switches between these personalities based on a given situation.
So he wrote fanfic and then just like tulpa'd them into his mind.
Yep. And it worked. Real good.
I mean, tulpaing things into your mind does work. That's part of why you shouldn't do it. It makes you insane.
Yeah, it's not a good move.
But it's just very fun reading this from the perspective of, like, I think it was the 60s when he was publishing these, or the 50s.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite moments I was telling Tony about is just when they first meet, he and Kurt Gerson. Gerthen shoots him in the ass, and then he runs away, Howard Allen Love Song, and then Gerson notes that it sounded as if he was cursing and screaming in many voices.
Oh, man.
Because he's crazy.
You got to be like a special kind of crazy to not only tulpa yourself a whole bunch, but learn how to do like the weird voice trick where you can sing in like
The Mongolian
yeah,
shit or whatever.
where you're singing with like multiple voices at once. That takes a special dedication that will make you king of crime in space times.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
It's really good. So
That's winner mentality.
overall, my thing, I recommend Jack Vance. Read anything by him. I love it all. Dying Earth. But in particular, if you want some weird sci-fi shit, Demon Prince series.
I don't know if I have a favorite book series that I can expound on here. I'm ashamed / honest to say a majority of my media consumption has been Japanese in origin. A lot of Godzillas, a lot of mangas, a lot of that kind of stuff. But there is one book series which I would say has been probably the most influential on me. This is a touching ass story, by the way. So my dad used to read to my brother and sister and I when we were younger. He actually read all the Harry Potter books, and that's how we found out that my dad can't quite read them all totally perfectly, all the names. They had different names. My dad was close, but...
I thought you were going to say that's how we discovered my dad was a wizard.
Yeah, turns out he read one of the spells, lights shot off,
that'll do
crazy.
Yeah.
But that was nice. But the thing that I think genuinely affected me more was that he introduced us to this book series written by Piers Anthony, the Xanth series.
Oh, baby.
And the premise of this story is on a parallel version of the world, around the parallel version of Florida.
It's totally distinct, though.
It's exactly the Floridian Peninsula, by the way.
Sir, it is rotated 90 whole degrees.
That just depends on the map.
Okay, well, in the map and the books, Florida's rotated 90 degrees.
But everything that happens there, all the people, you're born with a talent if you're one of the magic people there. And depending on how good your talent is, and it's like a stand power in JoJo's. I love it. I love the concept of it. I'm stealing it for one of my other things. It influenced me so greatly that I can't help but reference it. But one of my favorite aspects of the Xanth setting was how much of it relies on you, one, understanding that something is a dumb bit, and then two, but what if you did have to deal with that? What if you were walking through the forest and you're like, I totally know the way home, and then you're like, oh fuck, this is a one-way road through this forest. I can't turn around and go back the way I came. I have to keep going forward, and then you end up in the Xanthian equivalent of Alabama because it's a one-way road. You had to follow it.
That'd be awful.
It'd be awful, but isn't that funny? All these little things in it just tickle me. I love everything about it. One of the dumb bits also is they go to regular Earth at a certain point in
Mundania.
Yeah, they call it Mundania because you're called mundane if you don't have a talent. And they can almost understand people from the other side. The languages are so fucking close. But due to either the magic of the demon or like the laws of the universe,
can't understand your accent.
Yeah. There's a sentence that has lived in my head for years for no reason, which is when two of the characters are trying to talk to each other. One of them from Earth, one of them from Xanth. And they're saying, like, I can't understand you, I can't understand you. And the other one says, you can't understand me either. And he says, Yukon Tundra Stammer Eater. And those words live in my brain forever. You could use those words like I'm the Winter Soldier and reactivate me, I think. And just all of the little bits in it. The world is made of little bits that have to be taken seriously. Unfortunately, there is also the fact that Piers Anthony is from the past.
Man, he
was really cool for one of the past guys.
So
he was really progressive. Unfortunately,
he was progressive in 1975.
He was yeah, exactly. So now he's just aging hippie liberal douche from South Park.
Yes, sir.
He looks like it too.
That's who he is.
Not making fun of the man. That's what he looks.
That's an actor
with the character in South
fun
Park.
of him.
Yeah, he looks like that. And yeah, he in one of the books. When I was like 12 or 13, my dad handed me one of his books and said, here, there's like 6 or 7 of these, try them out. And they were the Incarnations of Immortality, which is another one of his series. Mm-hmm. And basically, the plot of that one is, so like all of existence was at one point just raw firmament. It was just gray nothing.
Yeah. It was all the was.
And the entire purpose of the whole... of like religion and all of that stuff, like all that metaphysical stuff, the entire purpose is to sort good from evil and figure out, is there more good or more evil, so we can decide which guy is on top. with the presumption being the last time we figured this out, there was more good. So God is in charge of this cycle.
Hopefully, yeah.
I say cycle. I don't know if they go in cycles. I assume they do. There's like an 8th or a 9th book or something that he wrote like 5 years ago that I haven't read and probably won't.
I didn't know he was still alive.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's good news.
Yeah. In like 2018 or something. It was. I don't know.
I hope you're still kicking.
Maybe someday I'll read it.
Hope you're still kicking out there, Piers. Just fighting the good fight.
Same. For real. In Florida. I hope
you're still in Florida.
Yeah.
Classing up the joint.
Yeah.
Keep aging. Keep being douchey.
Yeah.
So, in the Incarnations Immortality, there's a lot of these guys. The Incarnations are like human office holders that were elevated to like like an office, like president or vice president or senator, except the offices that the books are about are death, time, fate, war, nature, and then evil and good. And so you have like the first book starts out with this guy is down on his luck and bad shit happens to him, and he decides he's going to end it all. So he points his gun, points the gun to his head and gets ready to pull the trigger, and the Grim Reaper busts in the door to his craptastic apartment, and he goes, "Oh shit!" and blows that dude away.
Hell yeah!
Wait, stop! You don't.
Yeah. And he's looking.
A skeleton! Fuck!
Yeah. And he's looking at it, and instead of a skeleton, suddenly it's like a dude in a black robe and a skeleton mask bleeding out on the ground. And this woman shows up and is like, "Oh, you're the man now, dog!" And he has to go be dead.
You got Santa Claus, bitch.
See, he didn't. If you close your robe up, it's immune to bullets. He forgot to do that. Don't forget to do that. And so he has to like be death. And at first he kind of chafes at it. He's like, "This job sucks. People don't need to die. I'm going to save people." Then he learned, okay, obviously I'm going to need people. People need to die. I'm going to fuck everything up. So he. Ultimately, the book is about his confrontation with the devil, who is always scheming against all of them at all times, and how he outsmarts him and tricks him and fully comes into his power as death. And he also gets the girl who is like the chosen one who will save society. And the next book is...
Get cut, Satan.
Yeah, the next book, in the future, is in like... Far off in the future, there's this guy in this weird situation where there's like a ghost, and he bangs the ghost's wife so the ghost can have his kid, but really it's the ghost kid. Dude, there's magic.
Ghost cucking.
There's magic. It makes sense in the context of the book. And anyway...
That was Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost, I
think. He accidentally becomes time and then ages backwards, because when you're time, you have Merlin rules and you age backwards. And he goes backwards and intersects the plot from the future backwards, and he foils Satan. And then cut to the next book, and the year is like 1920, and some woman is in like rural Ireland, and her husband gets killed, and she ends up becoming Fate, and she retires from becoming Fate, and then she comes back as Fate's actually 3 ladies, because Fate's the
Fates.
Yeah, the Fates. And so she serves as 2 of the Fates, and again, the Fates foil Satan. And then it cuts to modern times, which modern times is like 1968.
It was modern at the time.
And this is this is where we get back into the point that Kevin made in it earlier, where like he's trying so hard, man. The main character of the 4th book is like a not Indian prince. He's like an Indian-ish prince. He's from Gujarat or something like that.
Yeah.
Like just a made-up place.
Just some mild Orientalism going on.
Yeah. And
did Jelly Baby?
Yeah. He's from Jelly Baby. Yeah. Jelly Baby. That's the place that's not Egypt in Pratchett is Jelly Baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah. But like, he's like an Indian prince, and he doesn't want to get arranged married, so he runs away. And then ultimately his family finds him and is like, "No, you do gotta get arranged married, bro."
Yeah.
And he like chafes at it first, but ultimately learns to love his wife until after he becomes War, Satan starts messing with him by having one of his demons go and teach his wife about like Western women's freedom, and his wife is like, "I'm leaving you."
Oh man,
what do you mean by that?
Teaches his wife his East Asian or Southeast Asian wife women's liberation circa 1968, And she's like, I'm leaving you, you're a caveman. And that really happens in this book. But he
That's
tries
awesome.
so hard to be like, look, man, arranged marriage may not be what we do here, but it's like this is the way people live, and I think it's pretty cool, and you should think about it too. Like
don't just write it off as evil 100% of the time.
Yeah. He it's funny to see like
he got the right spirit.
It's funny to see a person from 50 years ago trying.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying real hard.
There's a lot of that in Check Vance, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, the guy probably did martial arts. He probably knew different kinds of people.
There's just a lot of a lot of his fictional cultures are just they do a thing and that's like totally not okay, but he plays it off as like, isn't that funny?
Oh, well,
It's just like
Every culture gets one
buddy.
cancelable offense as the primary driver of their culture as a treat.
yeah, it's a treat. Let me round it off. So, and then the Indian prince becomes war, and through the power of brinksmanship, he defeats the devil. And then the fifth book is The Woman from Ireland, Irish shithole 1920s. One of her two daughters becomes nature. And at the end of that book, she loses to the devil.
Oh.
And book 6 starts out...
The devil's got the upper hand.
Yeah, and book 6 starts out with... The year is 1123. The Crusaders against the Albigensian heresy are rampaging across the French countryside. And there is a nice young and good wizard who, he's like the apprentice wizard, and he,
By the way, wizards were real.
and he, they still are. There's magic. There's magic the whole time. Yeah. Specifically, one of the father of the woman who will save the world in the future is the most magic, and they talk about if he wanted to, he could nuke a city with his brain. He can do that. That's a power he has.
Yeah.
But in this guy, it starts out as a good person, and over the course of a long time, he is corrupted by the devil, and then right when the devil's I got you now, motherfucker, because of basically magical fuckery, because the devil didn't appreciate the rules of magic, the spell rebounds on him, and the devil fires himself and is and dies, and the demon who's there is oh shit, go, you're him, go, do it, and the
Santa Claus rules, you're the devil now.
Yeah, Santa Claus rules, you're the devil now. And he spends 600 years being the devil and causing the Black Death. It's more like
He was a young devil when that lady first became Fate, huh?
No, that was... He'd been the devil for 600 years by then. And it goes through his story of how he figured out how to be the devil and come into his own. And then you get to experience the story, all of the previous books from his perspective, like that game Live a Live, where you he's oh man, they got me. Oh man, they got me. And then he finally does his ultimate plan and he tricks nature into marrying him.
The Persephone myth, yeah.
Yeah, which by the rules of that book means that her power and his are together, which pushes him over the top. And then
I got 51% shareholders, God.
And then because of some more shenanigans, he gets thrown out of being the devil. And ultimately, it ends happily ever after, is the point. But it's
with Mother Nature, a.k.a. the devil.
It's worth reading all of those books just to get to the devil book, because it is so good. I have that book. One of 3 physical books I own is the book about where the guy is the devil, and that's on my desk behind me.
The concept of that, and then the last book is you get to see from the other angle everything that happened. That makes me smile so much.
And
assholes.
And 15 years later, he wrote a book about how the reason things are bad is because God stopped paying attention sometime 1,500 years ago. And so the wife of the guy who becomes the devil eventually becomes God at the end. But that book kind of sucks.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. And with that, we're going to end tonight's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the nature of this content, go and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube, and go and give us a follow on Patreon. You can support us you can give us a follow on Blue Sky, and you can support us on our Patreon. I'd also like to give a special thanks to our fellow Scryers, Maticate, GaryGoblino, MidniteGrimoire, The Greater Good Boy, Kinomajaro, Grimtones, Wanrical, Barcis, and my mom.
Love you guys. Good night.
Come join us in that podcast Discord.
Yeah.
Bye.
Looking to see you there, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.